Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be taking a look from across the whole United States at multiple chances for a couple winter storms to come by this week and next week. The first system will travel up into the Midwest, a second one possibly could go through upstate, and then possibly right after that we could have a coastal system that could appear on the coast. If we take a look on the GFS here, you can see you have the disturbance that is up in northeast dissipates and weakens and gets out of here by the end of this today and tomorrow. And then you have cold air dipping down, and then you have a storm forming in the lower and middle country. You have it right by Missouri, and that storm travels up into the Midwest, strengthening, and could be significant snowfall for central Michigan and southern Wisconsin and extreme northeastern Illinois. You can see that storm intensifies pretty quickly and drops pretty intense snowfall in central Michigan, Wisconsin, and Illinois, right up there. And then you have some mixing in the northeast and some snow changing over the rain, but that's pretty much it for the northeast. This storm is going to be for the Midwest, and it's going to drop a lot of snow. This could be an all-snow event for extreme northern Maine, but otherwise from that, it's going to be mostly rain for the northeast. But notice, after this system, after it departures out of the U.S. and moves northeast, you have a cold front dropping down, and then you have another system possibly coming out to form. On this run, at least on the GFS, it does not show that at all. If you look back on a European, you can see a storm forms on the coast and actually causes a big snowstorm for all the way from Boston all the way down to North Carolina and parts of Georgia. If we continue here on the GFS, you can see that you have a disturbance again up in the northeast, maybe a little clipper system up by the Great Lakes and Canada. This eventually dissipates and moves out of here, but then eventually phases with another system. If we go back here, you see you have two energies here. You have one right there and one over here. On the GFS, it does not phase with the storm, so they stay off in departure. Unlike the European and the Canadian, they do phase. As you can see here, they do eventually phase here on the GFS, but it's way too late and actually gives Maine another snow event here. If we continue here with the GFS, you can see you have another system form and then head for the Great Lakes again. This would be another major system for the upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine again. And then you have multiple energies coming around from this whole time period. You have multiple energies moving from west to east, and you have multiple cold shots coming down as this happens. All it takes is one snowstorm to form, and you'll be above average anywhere in the northeast and apparently across the whole entire country. If we take a look at the Canadian here, you'll see it completely disagrees with the GFS. You have this disturbance moving out of the way by the end of today and tomorrow. You have that storm again intensifying and not as bullish as the GFS, more rain with this system, but you still have snow stretching from Wisconsin, Illinois, and on the Canadian here, Iowa. And then if you continue here, you can see the disturbance drops down, and then you have two disturbances, one coming down from Canada and one by South Carolina and Georgia. You can see that doesn't form. But here, it has another low forming in Texas, in the Rockies, and if we continue here, you can see it wants to take this storm, take it to the south, and almost look like a nor'easter here. You have it just on the panhandle of Florida, so that goes straight south, and then it takes it right up the coast here. You have snow across the whole coast, eventually going over the freezing rain. You can see this track of here goes like that almost. We'll zoom in here in a second. You see, it's almost at, what is this time? 7 p.m. Friday. It is still snowing, and this started at just around 1 p.m. Wednesday for New Jersey, central New Jersey, around that area. If we do a close-up here for the northeast, you can see that once this loads, you have snow on Long Island and the coast, changing over the rain on the coast of New Jersey. Still snowing on the coast of Long Island, just about ready to mix. Nantucket's going over the rain, and then Massachusetts is a heavy snow. But since the cold air is going to stick around, the outer forts is going to go to rain, but anywhere else on Long Island is going to stay in the freezing rain ice event and possibly even sleet. You stay like that for a couple hours and you go back to heavy intense snow. Notice you never change over to rain unless you're on the extreme coast of Long Island, New Jersey, and up to Nantucket, that area. The Canadian does show a lot of snowfall with this system, but this is one run and it shows a very big swath of snow. In this pink area, you have anywhere it's above 6 inches in this area. But again, this is over 150 hours out. Anything could change. Some models don't even show a system. The new run of the European doesn't even show anything. I'll show you here. This is the new run. You have the storm going up to the Great Lakes, no, Midwest actually, sorry about that. You have heavy snow from central Michigan all the way down to Illinois and Wisconsin. And then, if you continue here, you don't see anything. If we go back to the 0C run, you can see it does have that snowstorm going up into the Midwest. Not as intense as this latest run, but you do have a system by around the same time as the Canadian does. But as you can see, if we go back to the 12Z run, there's really nothing. Maybe just a few flakes, and maybe just cold air and dry. This is what it shows around that time. It does show a system, but it shows it like the GFS. It doesn't phase at all until it's off by the Canadian Maritimes. If we go to the National Weather Service, this is for the storm coming up for the Midwest by Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, and all the way back into the Plains region. You have a big snowstorm in the mountains here, anywhere from 1 inch from the lower elevations all the way up to possibly 12 to 14 inches all the way up in the mountains. But as this storm tracks to the east, you'll have snow on the north of the track. So you have anywhere from, this is a little too far out for it to be the highest, I should say. It's not all the, what's it called? It's not fully in yet, I would say, because right now you only have an inch or two from Wisconsin all the way back to Kansas. I expect this number to go up as the hour goes on because we're only out to 7 a.m. Saturday. And if we go back to the GFS here for a second, the storm is by only right here in central Illinois by 7 a.m. Saturday. So Michigan and all of Wisconsin, Illinois still has a lot of time to go. If we take a close-up here, you can see the GFS wants to drop around a good foot of snow by central and northern Michigan and extreme and southeastern Wisconsin in that area. The Canadian wants to drop almost the same. Michigan in the northern areas has pretty much the same thing, but it does have a bigger swath of snow for the Iowa and Illinois and Wisconsin, not as intense on the southeastern side. But if you go on the southwestern side, it has more snow. That is it for today, guys. I hope you all had a great day. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and have a good one.